Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
Starting to play some good golf with that birdie, moves to 4 under for the tournament. Let's go over to the 5th hole. Even par through the early portion of this second round. Frank, not a bad spot.
Yeah, sort of rocking on ready, sitting on go. That's what it looks like right now.
Frank, they say you have to ride the wind. Boy, he got all of that one.
Got every ounce out of the conditions.
Good-looking shot right here. Beautiful approach shot there and a good chance to take advantage. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Just the tap in to finish the hole. Steady climber right here with another par.
In the top 5. Should be well pleased with that right now.
Par 4 6th, and Frank, a couple of options here.
Yeah, a hole that bends to the left. A draw is the preferred shot off the tee. The longer hitters will have a big advantage. They'll be able to get it down there and just have a pitch or a short wedge into this. If you're not, that long, then you're going to have to lay it back short of those bunkers. That's going to leave a lengthy second shot.
About 120 yards to the hole. Tugged that one a little bit offline to the left. And he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough is fairly thick. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely... And that par certainly won't hurt the cause.
There's still some time. Now to the second par 3 on the front 9. This is the 7th hole.
Yeah, quite a stiff par 3 because of the narrowness in the front. Really favoring a higher shot that's going to land softly. And therefore you can open up that green. Because the further back you go, the wider it gets.
Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there, but it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything. Birdie opportunities, holes that are fought by water, bunkering that's being changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's formality now. Great, too.
Beautiful. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4. Obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. The green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Now comfortably inside that cut line, the former national champ makes birdie. Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, or do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those 2 bunkers down the right completely out of play. This hole's been stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased, but that bunkering in that choke point. So the strategy, do you have the length to get past them? Or if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh, yeah, birdie, Frank, and another shot closer.
Sniffing in the right direction.
Frank, where's the difficulty here on the 7th hole, the par 3 of more than 200 yards?
Well, Rich, front hole locations are always probably the toughest here because that's the narrowest part of the green. Bunkering really hasn't changed, and the green still does widen up, but the hole tends to play slightly uphill.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
Pretty good shot right there. Good putt. Frank, right where you want to be at the midway point of a tournament.
Yeah, you know your game's solid. The focus is more on the leader and that you can just go out and play. Excellent position to be in.
EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage. Simply put, there is nothing like it in the game of golf. It is by far the biggest spectator event in the sport. We're at TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, everybody wants to know about 16, the famed par 3 here, surrounded by those skyboxes. Once again, that'll be a topic of the day. But really, this is a regular sight for the PGA Tour. So those of you that were familiar with the golf course, it's now changed. 2014, the designers Morris and Weiskopf did a massive renovation.
Well over 100,000 fans every day, better than 500,000 for the week. It's a giant party mixed in with a heck of a tournament. Looks primed right now.
Anything other than backing up. Very aggressive. That birdie now in second.
On to the par 3 7th, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive, and that green starts to widen.
That one is in the bunker. Now from the bunker.
Yeah, just a little splash out on this par 3.
Did the smart thing there, Frank. Took his medicine, back out onto the fairway. Frank, you've been in this position. The hole hasn't gone the way you've wanted. What do you do?
Well, we'd all like to make birdies and eagles, but, you know, that's not the name.